let's get back to the next questions that I'm going to ask. So, do you all think that comics can be made as an occupation? What do you think, Hui Xuan?
Thank you, Mura. It depends on the individual because many people treat it more like a hobby than a full-time job. But to me, it's an occupation for sure.
Well, I guess this is your full-time job already, almost for 10 years, if I'm not wrong. So, what do you think about as a occupation for you, Phil?
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, there are various sources of income for a comic artist, much dependent on the number of books that is sold and also the amount of activity. So yes, it can be a proper occupation, but just for aspiring comic artists, just take note that this is not a daily 9 to 5 job where you get a fixed salary at the end of every month.
Well, I guess this is based on different people's opinions, how they're going to gauge whether comic can be a full-time or a part-time or just a hobby or etc. So I think your fans and readers will be very curious whether your work will it be turned into anime or live actions. So what do you think about it, Yeo?
Thank you, Mura. Actually, this is not really within our control, but I think it is quite unlikely in Singapore because usually animes are actually produced by a separate animation firm and not handled by the comics publisher. So in Japan, it is slightly different because the industry there is more matured, and I think there is also enough demand as well as enough supply material, so it makes more sense for animation firms to actually go into this area.
So Xuan, I believe that during events, right, you have readers asking you whether is Dreamwalker an anime or live action. So what do you think about your work?
Okay, actually there's a lot of fans feedback to me that whether my series can become an anime or even a TV drama. But to be honest, it's not for us to decide when the work is when the work is out of the comic publishing boundary, all the decision will be made by the entertainment industry instead. So we won't get to know how the turns out will be.
Yeah, like I say, it's like different industries have different kinds of management, like talent agency and so on. And so next, my question will be quite exciting, which is like, how do you handle criticism? So, question how you deal with it.
Okay, if the criticism is talking about where can you improve in your comics, of course this is positive and acceptable. As for negative criticism, a friend of mine shared this with me. There's this person who occasionally mockingly question the quality of local original comics, even the creators. I find this critic is no more talking about a single person, but it also aims at anyone who is doing original comic as well. So my reply to this critic is, thank you for your concern. We are doing well, and most importantly, we will continue to enhance our milestones.
Wow, okay. How about Clio? How are you going to respond to when you face criticisms towards your work?
Thank you, Mura. I think it's important to stay positive and objective as well because there might be some negative feedback but are useful and can help us improve. And then of course there might be some that doesn't make any sense because at the end of the day, I think it's not possible to please everyone and people have different likes, different opinions. So if someone really doesn't like my work, give very weird negative criticism, then probably they are not my target audience and it is fine for me. So I think the important thing is to not get discouraged by negative feedback. Yeah.
So basically, it's that both artists will need to know that not only you all, it's that everyone, when you're facing any creations and you face a lot of remarks which is not good for you, you can choose to listen, or you can step back and think about it and whether is your stuff really that bad. So not every point of criticism you have to accept it. You have to use your mind and think about it. So don't follow blindly. What people say, you go and edit. If one person say you edit, 10 people say you edit, and 100 and 1,000 of people edit, no longer is your work. It's their work.